having dinner with my cousin recently, and he actually was getting on me for something I said in a sermon, because I'd just been saying that the previous Sunday that pointing out that miracles are insanely rare, that physical miracles, God hardly ever does physical miracles. And I like in his example that we talk about Jesus walking on water, and there's jokes about him, walking across pools and stuff. But the reality was he lived by a lake, and best we can tell, he walked on water once and only did it halfway across the lake to get to where the boat was. He always rode a boat. And that God hardly ever interferes with his physical universe. And my cousin was really upset because he said, what about prayer? Why am I praying? And then he starts talking about how often God had worked in his life through prayers, how massively the changes had been made in his life because of prayer. And that's a really good question. Because what's the point of praying if God doesn't do miracles? Well, we're going to be taking the next few days and answering that question, or at least trying to look at that question. But for today, let me just give you a thought on it. Because it is true that God hardly ever does miracles. I mean, we sometimes call things miracles that aren't, but God hardly ever interferes in the physical universe. So what should I learn from that? Well, the first thing for today, just a quick one. If God's almost certainly not going to do a physical miracle to solve my problem, I'm in the middle of a problem, God's almost certainly not going to do a physical miracle to solve it, what should I do? Well, pretty simple. Don't be focused on God getting you out of trouble. Focus on what God's going to do in and through you in your trouble. Not getting you out of trouble, but what God's going to do in your trouble. Because that's where God does the most work in our lives. It's not by getting us out of trouble, but by what he does while we're in the trouble. We'll continue talking about miracles tomorrow, but for today, that's today's Jumpstart. If you're liking the Jumpstart, make sure that that you like it. When there's one that really speaks to you, make sure you click that like button and let everybody know what you're learning from the Jumpstart.